Now we come to administration under the Vengi Chalukyas. So, the influence of the Chalukyas of Badami, the Rashtrakutas, the Cholas, and the Chalukyas of Kalyani can be clearly seen in the administration of Vengi Chalukyas. Okay, so by the time the Eastern Chalukyas established themselves in Andhra, monarchy became the normal form of government in all the other kingdoms. So the kings relied on the members of the family. The kings relied on the members of the families of different military chieftains, members of the families of the different military chieftains who came to Vengi along with the Eastern Chalukyas, and they remained faithful to the dynasty. Then the king depended on loyal feudatories also for the military operations and the administration of the provinces. The feudatories, he depended on loyal feudatories there for military operations and the administration of the provinces. Okay, then the feudatories were known as Mandala Swaras, Mandale Swaras, Mandale or Mandale Swaras, or Mahasamantas. The feudatories were called as Mahasamantas, Mahamandalikas, or Mandaleswaras, Mandaleshwara. అబ్బా మండలం ఉంటుంది కదా, సో మండలేశ్వర, మహాసామంత అండ్ మహామండలిక. So next to the king was the crown prince or the Yuvaraja. Normally the eldest son of the chief queen was designated as Yuvaraja, and he ascended the throne after the death of the king. The king was the head of the administration and he wielded immense power. The Vengi kings assumed various titles like Maharajadi Raja, Parama Bhattaraka, Parama Bhattaraka, and etc. The actual administration was in the hands of various ministers who had different titles like Amatya, Pradhani, Pradhana Mantri, Pradhani, and మంత్రి ఎక్సెట్రా. సో యాక్చువల్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ అనేది వీళ్ళ ఈ వేరియస్ మినిస్టర్స్ చేతిలో ఉన్నిందనమాట. దే ఆర్ అమత్య, ప్రధాని, మంత్రి అండ్ ఎక్సెట్రా. మినిస్టర్స్ were drawn from various castes, but the majority of them were Brahmins. So the ministers were drawn from various castes, but the majority of them were Brahmins. The kingdom was divided into nadus or mandalams. So they were subdivided into the districts, and the lowest unit was the village or the grama. The king was the chief of the army. So the king was the chief of the army, but the actual command was entrusted to Sarva Senadipati. The Eastern Chalukyas had different capitals. During the early years of their rule, Pitapuram functioned as the capital. Then later it was shifted to Vengipura in Godavari district and again Rajahmundry. So for some time Vijayawada functioned as capital, and Amaraju too built a new capital called as Rajahmundry. The administration system of Chalukyas from Stylizum I'm not then. Then, as they are one of the important branch of Badami Chalukyas, they also followed the same kind of administration. Kumarilla Bhattu popularized Purva Mimamsa. Kumarilla Bhattu, he popularized Purva Mimamsa style of administration. Then king is all the authority lies with the king. Then there was a patriarchal kind of government. Kingship was hereditary. The entire kingdom was divided into Saptangas. Saptangas ante entire kingdom of Vengi Chalukyas were divided into Saptangas, that is 7 parts, and 18 offices, that is Ashtadasa Tirthas. So Saptangas 7 parts and 18 offices, that is Saptadasha Tirthas. Saptadasha Tirthas ga unnindannata. Then Varagoshti ante it was Sabha, gathering of the citizens to discuss various issues. Varagoshti ante Sabha. The kingdom was divided into, that is Rajya, the king, then Rajyam was headed by the king, then Rashtram or Nadu was headed by Kumara Amatyas or the Yuvarajas, Kumara Amatyas, Vishayas were headed by Vishayapati or Mandaleshwara. He was Niyoga Vallabha. Then Gramas was headed by Rattadi. Then Yuvaraja, that is king to be, was called as Uparaja, Yuvaraja. Then the cabinet, it was called as Tirthas. తీర్థ అందుకే దాన్ని 18 ఆఫీసర్స్ని అష్టాదశ తీర్థాస్ అన్నారు. దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో కాల్డ్ అస్ cabinet was called as తీర్థాస్. Then important minister of the cabinet was Samaharta. Samaharta was the important minister of the cabinet. Then the Vishayas, the head of Vishaya was Vishayapati. He was called as Niyoga Vallabha. The Vishayapati was called as Niyoga Vallabha. And they are called as Nadus, Vishayas or Nadus. So by their inscriptions we can understand that there were 30 Nadus: Palanadu, Kammanadu, Pakanadu, Venginadu. So Nadus అంటే Vishayas districts లాగా అనమాట. డిస్ట్రిక్ట్స్ లాగా. సో డిఫరెంట్ నాడుస్ అలా 30 నాడుస్ 30 నాడుస్ ఉన్నాయంట. సో అకార్డింగ్ టు ఇన్స్క్రిప్షన్స్ దట్ ఈస్ పలనాడు బ్రహ్మనాయుడు, పల్నాడు, కమ్మనాడు, పాకనాడు, వెంగినాడు. సో ఆల్ దీస్ వర్ ప్రెసెంట్. Then next comes villages is the basic unit of the administration. The Gramani supervises all the works of the villages. Then the head of the village is called as Grameyaka. Gramani supervises the work of the villages. Head of the village was called as Grameyaka. Now again it was Gramini. So Maneyas are those who collect taxes in villages. Maneyas are those who collect taxes in the villages. Then conflicts in the villages are solved by Panchapara, that is Grama Sabha. గ్రామ సభలు, పంచాయతీ. పంచపార అంటే పంచాయతీ, పంచపార పంచాయతీ. ద కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ ఇన్ ద విలేజెస్ వాస్ సాల్వ్డ్ బై పంచపార, దట్ ఈస్ పంచాయతీ అండ్ గ్రామ సభ. దెన్ ద జుడిషియల్ సిస్టమ్, దే ఫాలోడ్ ద యజ్ఞవాల్క్య మహర్షి రాసిన యజ్ఞవాల్క స్మృతిని ఫాలో అయ్యారు. ఫర్ ద జుడిషియల్ సిస్టమ్ దే ఫాలోడ్ ద Yajnavalka Smriti. They followed Yajnavalka Smriti for the judicial system. Then Korivi inscription mentions about the crimes and punishments. Korivi inscription, it mentions about the crimes and punishments. Then after that it is Prabhuddhura inscription says that this inscription explains how the king punishes the corrupt bureaucrats. How king punishes corrupt bureaucrats, they ela punish chestarani undi Prabhuddhura inscription. This inscription explains different types of punishments for various types of crimes. Ani ye inscription, there is only one important inscription, Prabhuddhura inscription. Regarding the Grama Sabhas, Chalukya Bhima II, he issued Machilipatnam inscription. Regarding the Grama Sabhas ఉన్నాయి కదా, so regarding the Grama Sabhas, then Chalukya Bhima II, the Chalukya Bhima II, he issued the Machilipatnam inscription. Then for treason, that is capital punishment, is awarded. Then in the absence of the evidences based on the Divya's judgment is delivered. Then Mudravartis were those who sealed the Dharma Shasanas. Mudravartis are the people who seal the Dharma Shasanas. The Dharma Shasanas are those which are delivered kind of justice papers based on the Dharma Shasanas. Dharma Shasanas are those which are delivered kind of justice papers based on Dharma Shasanas. These Dharma Shasanas are called as Jayapataras. They were sealed by royal insignia. Then Praundivakyas, so they were the officers in the king's court. Praundivakyas delivers justice related to villages and irrigation conflicts. Then Grama Talari, which safeguards the villages. Then military administration, so they used to collect Padameri tax to maintain the military. They used to collect Chalukyas used to collect tax. They used to collect the Padameri tax to maintain the military. They maintained Chaturanga forces, Chaturanga balalu antam kada, so the military. They maintained the Chaturanga Balalu, Chaturanga forces, that is Rathamu, Gajamu, Ratha, that is chariots, Gaja, elephants, and Ratha, Gaja, Turaga, Padati. Ratha, Gaja, Turaga, Padati. రథ అంటే చారియట్స్, గజ అంటే ఎలిఫెంట్స్, తురగ అంటే హార్స్, పదాతి పాదాతి. రథ గజ తురగ పాదాతి. పాదం అంటే ఇన్ఫాంట్రీ. సో దే మెయింటైన్ ద చతురంగ ఫోర్సెస్, రథ గజ తురగ పాదాతి. దెన్ సాలరీస్ టు ది ఆర్మీ వర్ పెయిడ్ త్రూ మనీ. వీళ్ళకి మనీనే ఇచ్చేవాళ్ళు. సాలరీస్ వర్ టు ది ఆర్మీ, ఇట్ వాస్ పెయిడ్ త్రూ మనీ. దెన్ దే వర్ కాల్డ్ అస్ జీవతరాళ్ళు, జీతవురాళ్ళు. ద శాలరీ వాస్ కాల్డ్ అస్ జీతవురాళ్ళు. దెన్ ధర్మాధార ఈజ్ టు షో పీస్ అకార్డ్. ధర్మాధార టు షో ద పీస్ అకార్డ్. దే ఫాలోడ్ యుద్ధ ధర్మ. దెన్ యజ్ఞవాల్క్య స్మృతి ఫాలో అయ్యారు ఫర్ ద జ్యుడిషియల్ సిస్టమ్. ఫర్ ద మిలిటరీ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ దే ఫాలోడ్ యుద్ధ ధర్మ ఫాలో అయ్యారు వీళ్ళు. Then after that, economic system of the Chalukyas. Economy of the Chalukyas. The economic system of Chalukyas, the most important occupation of the people during this time was agriculture. Obviously, it was such fertile alluvial soil region of the coastal area, drained by Krishna Godavari rivers and the delta region. So most important occupation was agriculture. Then the most important revenue to the government was land tax, obviously land revenue. Then the land tax was 1/6, and this was called as Kuru. The land tax was called as Kuru. The land tax which is paid to the king is called as Koraku or Aripanu or Siddhaya. The land tax which is paid to the king is called as Kuru, Koraku, Aripanu and Siddhaya. The officer who Siddhaya, Aripanu, Kuru, Koraku. The officer who collect tax is called as Maneyulu. The officer who collect the tax is called as Maneyulu. The agricultural lands are categorized into two types. The agricultural land is divided into following types, that is Pallapu Bhumulu and Metta Bhumulu. Tari Bhumulu, Guruvulu. తరి భూములు గురువులు అంటారంట. పల్లపు భూములు, మెట్ట భూములు. పల్లపులు అంటే ప్లెయిన్స్ అన్నట్టు, మెట్ట భూములు అంటే ప్లాట్యూస్. పల్లపు భూములు ఆర్ తరి భూములు అండ్ మెట్ట భూములు ఆర్ గురువులు. ది అగ్రికల్చరల్ క్రాప్స్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ పీరియడ్ వేర్ రైస్, పల్సెస్, ఆయిల్ సీడ్స్, రైస్ ఒకటి, మెయిజ్ ఒకటి, pulses, oil seeds were the important crops of this time. Commercial crops which were mentioned in the inscriptions were coconut, betel leaves, mangoes, sugarcane, cotton and lentils. So coconut, betel leaves, mangoes, sugarcane, cotton and lentils. Every farmer had the rights on the land. He can sell, buy and donate the land. Every farmer he can buy the land, he can sell the land, or he can donate the land. So for the services rendered by the soldiers, the manyas, agraharas and temples are also given. For the services rendered by the soldiers, manyas, agraharas and temples were also given. If a village is donated to anyone, there is no clear indication whether the tax exemption is given or not. Then Sarvakara Pariharapu means the lands for which the taxes are exempted. ఇది గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. సర్వకార పరిహారపు అంటే ద ల్యాండ్స్ ఫర్ విచ్ ద ట్యాక్సెస్ వర్ ఎగ్జెంప్టెడ్. బట్ డొనేట్ చేసిన ల్యాండ్స్లో ట్యాక్స్ ఎగ్జెంప్ట్ చేసేవాళ్ళు లేదా మనకు తెలియదు అన్నట్టు. మోస్ట్లీ ఉంటుంది, ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళకి డొనేట్ చేస్తున్నారంటే అక్కడ నుంచి వచ్చే ల్యాండ్ రెవెన్యూ నుంచి కదా వాళ్ళు మెయింటైన్ చేస్తారు ఆ టెంపుల్స్ కానీ, విహారాస్, ఆరామస్ని. దెన్ ద ఇంపార్టెంట్ ట్యాక్సెస్ డ్యూరింగ్ ది పీరియడ్ వాస్ అరి, సిద్ధయం, పుల్లారి, సంధి విగ్రాహక tax paid by the people as king is guarding the people from the enemy attacks. Sandhi Vigrahaka tax. Then Doraraju tax. It is imposed on those who manufacture the umbrellas. Doraraju. Ari tax paid after the change in the crop that is cultivated. Siddhayamati tax which is decided prior to the production of the crop. Pulari tax is a tax which is imposed on the grass eaten by the cattle. Padivalle tax to maintain the army tax is collected, that is Padivalle tax. Sandhi Vigrahika tax, Doraraju tax, Ari tax, ఇన్ని డిఫరెంట్ ట్యాక్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి. సో అదే ఇంపార్టెంట్ ట్యాక్స్ అని ఇంకా చాలా ట్యాక్స్లు ఉన్నాయి. ముంబాలి వాజ్ ద ల్యాండ్ ఎగ్జెంప్టెడ్ ఫ్రమ్ ది ట్యాక్స్. ఇంకోటి వచ్చేసి సర్వకార పరిహారపు ఈజ్ ఆల్సో ల్యాండ్ ఎగ్జెంప్టెడ్ ఫ్రమ్ ది ట్యాక్స్. ల్యాండ్ ఈస్ మెజర్డ్ ఇన్ ద ఫాలోయింగ్ వేస్, దట్ ఈస్ హెక్టార్స్, that is nirvatan hectares, marut that is acres, kandikas that is gajam, and putti that is gunta. Here hectares, acres, ganjamu, gunta ganjam kadamma gajam hectare, then ఒక ఏకరు ఎన్ని గజాలు, దెన్ ఎన్ని గుంటలు. There were called as Nivartan, Marut, Kandika, Putti. Then Vijayaditya one imposed taxes to the citizens of Vengi district, Malleshwara Mahadeva, as following. So Draksharamam inscription issued by Kuluttonga Chola I explains following taxes were imposed on the agriculture and other occupations. That is so following coins are in use in their period. The coins that were used in period of Eastern Chalukyas were Madalu ante gold coins, Gadanyalu, Rukalu ante silver coins, Madalu ante Rukalu ante silver coins, Madalu ante gold coins, Chinnam coins ante copper coins. ఇది స్టార్టింగ్లో కూడా చదివాం. మడలు అంటే గోల్డ్ కాయిన్స్, రుకలు అంటే సిల్వర్ కాయిన్స్, చిన్నం కాయిన్స్ అంటే కాపర్ కాయిన్స్, అండ్ గడన్యాలు అంటే కూడా సిల్వర్ కాయిన్స్. Then Pavuluri Mallanna was a mathematician. He was a mathematician in the court of Rajaraja Narendra and his contemporary of Nannaya. He translated the Ganita Sara Sangraham, a mathematical treatise of Mahavira Acharya యొక్క మ్యాథమెటికల్ బుక్ని, మహావీర ఆచార్య యొక్క మ్యాథమెటికల్ బుక్ని తెలుగులోకి ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేశాడు కూడా. దట్ ఈస్ సార సంగ్రహ గణితములు, దాన్నే గణిత సార సంగ్రహములు. సో పవులూరి మల్లన్న రోడ్ భద్రాద్రి రామ శతకములు ఆల్సో. పవులూరి మల్లన్న రోడ్ భద్రాద్రి రామ శతకము. ఆర్ఆర్ నరేంద్ర డొనేటెడ్ నవకండవవాడ అగ్రహారం టు పవులూరి మల్లన్న, ఒక అగ్రహారాన్ని ఆయన పవులూరి మల్లన్న నన్నయ్య వాళ్ళకి డొనేట్ చేశాడు. నవకండవాద అగ్రహారం టు పవులూరి మల్లన్న. Then Mahavira Acharya is a Jaina mathematician who is a court poet of Amogavarsha, the Rashtrakuta king. Mahavira Acharya వచ్చి he was the court poet, Jaina mathematician and court poet of Amogavarsha, who was a Rashtrakuta king. Then according to Pavuluri Mallanna's book, ఒక సారకని, వన్ సారకని was equal to 4 గోకర కాసులు ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 1 సారకని. 4 సొరకాసులు, ఇవన్నీ అడగరనుకుంటా. What is the trade? The Vaishya Shreni, that is Nagara Shreni, is the most popular guild during the period. The Nagara Shreni was the most popular guild during this period, and the trade guilds are also called as Nakaras. Nagara laga Nakara Shreni, Nakaras, where the trade guilds were called as Nakaras. Then following guilds are mentioned in the inscription of Chalukyas, that is Aivolu Vartaka guild and Balija guild and Penukonda Nagara. బలిజోల్మాన క్యాస్ట్ బలిజ గిల్డ్ పెనుకొండ నగర ఐవోలు వర్తకుల గిల్డ్. ద అయ్యవోలు ట్రేడింగ్ guild was belonged to Kannada Desha. Anyways, then there were so many trading centers during that time. Important trading center was Penukonda. Penukonda was their important trade center was Penukonda. At Penukonda, Telikas ante oil guilds. Telika guild is another important guild. Important center of Penukonda is at Vijayawada. Important center of Penukonda is at Vijayawada. There are also some guilds which are meant for the foreign trade. That is Paradesa Nakaram and Nana Desi and Ubaya Nana Desi are guilds which conduct trade in different parts of the world. Nana Desi, Ubaya Nana Desi, so which conduct trade in different parts of the world. And Samakarya talks about the works of Nagaras. In Tripurantakam inscriptions, it talks about the names of the members mentioned in the Nagaras. Venginadu, Pakanadu, Anumanadu are in some important guilds were present in these places. Then tax collectors, Sunka Pegada ante the person who collects taxes on goods which are sold and purchased. Kola Gandru, who talks about measurements. Tirparulu is based on the quality of the item tax is imposed. Gutta ante to collect taxes responsibility is assigned to gutta which are imposed. Then perikas are assigned the task to carry the caravans from one place to place. So perika ante jute bag and taxes are imposed on perikas, bullock carts, boats and artisans. Andar paina taxes untundi. Then foreign trade, Paradesi Nakaram is assigned the job to conduct the foreign trade and their coins are also obtained from the foreign land. Then Shakti Varma or Chalukya Chandra, Rajaraja Shakti Varman and Rajaraja Narendra's gold coins are found in Arakan-Yoma of Myanmar, which is the Ramra island of Burma. Arakan-Yoma. Then during that time the trade was conducted with the Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia and Sri Lanka, all the southeastern countries the trade undedi. Then the important port cities during that time was Kalingapatnam, Kalinga, that is in Orissa. Kalingapatnam and Koringa, that maybe these two are in Orissa. Machilipatnam, Visakhapatnam, Motupalli, Gantasala, Chinnaganjam and Krishnapatnam. These are the 6 important ports in Andhra Pradesh which are present now. Machilipatnam, Visakhapatnam, Gantasala, Motupalli, Chinnaganjam and Krishnapatnam ports. So some port cities are named as Visakhapatnam పేరు వచ్చి కులుత్తుంగ చోళపట్నం, ఘంటసాల పేరు వచ్చి చోళపాండ్యపురం ఘంటసాల పేరు. మోటుపల్లి పేరేమో దేశీయ కొండపట్నం అండ్ కృష్ణపట్నం పేరు వచ్చి గండగోపాలపురం అంట. కృష్ణపట్నం పేరు గండగోపాలపురం, విశాఖపట్నం కులత్తుంగపురం. ఒక్కొక్క కింగ్ పేరు మీద ఒక్కొక్క పట్నం పేరు పెట్టారు. దెన్ Ahadanakara inscription, it explains the business transactions during the period on the grains and other goods. Paina 1/16 of the tax was collected on grains. Then social conditions, society under the Vengi Chalukyas. This is from Sailaja ma'am. The social condition, it is mostly a patriarchal system and Chaturvarna system. It prevailed during that time. Brahmins enjoyed the highest priority during that time. The Brahmins were divided into 3 categories. Sostriya or Shastriya who recites the hymns during the yagas, Vaidika who maintains the temples, and Niyogis who advises the kings in the state affairs. Sostriya, Vaidika, Niyogis who recites poems, maintain temples and advises the kings in the state. Then Brahmana guilds are called as Mahajans అంటారంట బ్రాహ్మణ guilds ని in eastern Chalukyas లో. Then Kshatriyas వచ్చి రెండుగా డివైడ్ అయ్యారు. Suryavanshis who are the Cholas and the Gajapati రాజులు చోళులు were called as Suryavanshis, and Chandravanshis వచ్చి eastern Chalukyas, Vijayanagara rulers and the Pandyas. Then Pandyas kuda. Then Vaishyas వచ్చి they were engaged in the trade, they were called as Komitis and their trading guilds was called as Nakaras. Example Nanda Desi Nakara, Vekundra Nakara, Paradesi Nakara and all that. From all in one వచ్చి society with the ascendancy of Hinduism. The Varnashrama Dharma, the fourfold division of the society into casted, has come to stay. So, however, the Shudras were able to climb the social ladder, and they wielded political power, and many Mandalikas, ante Samantarajulu, many Mandalikas belong to that caste, Shudras. Okay. Then one notable feature of the Eastern Chalukya period was immigration of the people from the north, west and south into Andhra. Immigration of the people from the north, south and west into Andhra. So this was one striking feature, notable feature in Eastern Chalukyas. Then during the reigns of different rulers, Brahmins from the north and from Tamil Nadu, they migrated into Andhra. From north and south, they migrated into Andhra. Then military chieftains and their followers came with the rulers and settled down there. Okay, then many Kshatriyas and Sudras from the western India also they migrated to Andhra. Then Vaishyas known as Komatis are subdivided into two groups, that is Gaura Komatis, that is Arya Vaishyas, and Kalinga Komatis. Gaura Komatis and Kalinga Komatis. Gaura Komatis ante Arya Vaishyas, and Kalinga Komatis ante inkoka Vaishyas. Brahmins of that period did not limit themselves to religious matters only, and the Vedic teachings also were given by them, and they participated in also in the military and administrative activities, because Panduranga was a Brahmin of Gunaga Vijayaditya. Commander-in-chief was a Brahmin, so they participated in military and administrative activities by advising the king. Then the Kshatriyas did not develop themselves as much as the other castes. మిగతా వైశ్యాసు శూద్రాసు బ్రాహ్మిన్స్ డెవలప్ అయినంత క్షత్రియస్ డెవలప్ కాలేదు. దే ఓన్లీ పార్టిసిపేటెడ్ ఇన్ ద బ్యాటిల్స్ అండ్ దే డిస్ట్రిబ్యూటెడ్ ద పీస్ ఇన్ టు ద సొసైటీ. సో వైశ్యాస్ గేవ్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ టు అగ్రికల్చర్, commerce and business activities. Then Penugonda in the West Godavari district used to be a very big business center during that period, Penugonda. Then the Shudras, who formed the bulk of the population, they were agriculturists, but some of them has risen to the rank of Mandalikas, the Samantarajul feudatories. So with the rise of Veerashaivism and Veera Vaishnavism, there was a social awakening in the Andhra, and attempts were made to improve the position of the Dalits also. With the rise of Veerashaivism in Karnataka lo Veerashaivism ochindi, and Veera Vaishnavism, so there was a social awakening in Andhra also, and attempts were made to improve the position of the Dalits. Then Brahma Naidu, he opened the gates of Chennakeshava Swami temple to the Dalits, and he adopted Kannadasa అనే అతను వచ్చి he was a Dalit as his son. Brahma Naidu, he opened the gates of Chennakesava Swami temple to the Dalits, and he adopted Kannadasa Dalit as his son. Women played a notable part in the religious and the secular affairs. Then Nayakuralu Nagamma was able to play a leading role in the politics of Palnadu.